Hello everyone. Welcome back to another episode of r/malicious compliance. In today's episode, nice lady bends company policy in her advantage for free internet. Oh okay, I'll move the truck mom. Shabbily dressed guy actually does work in the building dude. Before we get started, be sure to subscribe so that you will never miss a video. Let's get started. Nice lady bends company policy in her advantage for free internet. Sorry, not sorry, long story, no TLDR. Read or don't, up to you. This whole story takes part a few years back, about a month or two into my first job as ISP, Internet Service Provider. But you knew that. Tech support. I'll try to paraphrase, but since I can't remember half of it, mostly just the context, I'll try to tell this story to the best of my ability. Also ended up quite long, so I chose to cut the paraphrasing to only my first encounter with one of my managers, henceforth boss, to give you an idea of how he treated us lowly new tech supports. So, to the story. One day a lady calls in asking about why her internet speeds are only 10 megabit per second, and not 100 megabit per second, while showing a different service provider as ISP on their speed test. New to the job, I was determined to figure out what was wrong with her connection, so I took some time to dig through the logs, and noticed. Request to move to address N. New. Cancelled on address O. Old. Activated on address N. Seems good so far. Inquired about the correct addresses and everything is good when compared to the logs. This was in fact not the first time she called about it, but my colleagues had not been doing a good job of troubleshooting it, and she was every time redirected to troubleshoot her own equipment. After a few jousts with our tech support, she'd given up on getting it fixed for a while. Closer to 10 months. Since there's been full troubleshooting done before I start looking into the activation of the internet itself, which seems like it must have been overlooked previously. And notice, it's still active on the old address. There had also been a text message sent to the customer around the time of the activation that it's now activated on address N. Seems like we just deactivated and reactivated it on the same address, while informing the customer it was moved as planned. She had swapped apartments with a friend and internet had been ordered to be moved when she did. That was 14 months before her talking to me. In fact, we hadn't been delivering internet to her for 14 months. The speed test showed a different internet provider with a somewhat similar name, so she had not noticed the issue before. Turns out, this was the friend she had swapped apartments with ISP, so I go talk to my manager about it. She's apparently not there that day, so I go talk to another manager. Boss, I'm busy, make it quick. Me, we haven't been delivering internet to this lady since she requested a move 14 months ago. Boss, not our problem if she didn't send a fault report. Me, she did, multiple times, and we confirmed it was moved as requested. What do I do? Boss, just inform her that she's had internet this whole time, so we cannot compensate her for the time the internet has been down. Me, but we haven't been delivering any internet to her but to her friend's apartment. Boss, well, someone used it, not my problem. Me, but, interrupted. Boss, I don't have time for this, just do as I said. Thinking, this is not going to end well. As boss said though, not his problem, and following his instructions. The consequences of this is not my problem either. So I tell the customer about that even if we indeed did inform her it was activated on the new address, it never was, and my boss had informed me, since it was used by your friend, we cannot compensate you for this time. Suffice to say, customer was furious about this but still pleasant to talk to. One of those awesome people who understands that sometimes there's not much the person they're talking to can do, and yelling at them will not help. Being nice made me want to help her, and if she had yelled at me, perhaps none of the following would have taken place. She lets me know this is not the end of it, even if I did promise I'd make sure to get her service properly activated as a PI asked her to tell her friend to deactivate her service on the address. This she told me would be done within the hour and she'd call back, so I instead promised to call her an hour later and activated her internet, this time on the correct address. Cue customer's brilliant way of turning the company policy against it. Akea, the malicious compliance with terms and agreements. She was indeed correct about not being the end of it. A few days later I talked to her yet again. The system automatically forwarded calls to the last person they talk to if they are available, and she demands to talk to someone in charge. Having read up on the terms of agreement, if we did not deliver internet during a period of time, and it could be proven it was our fault, Compensation was as follows. Anything over 30 days without internet means that for every 15 days without a connection, she has the right to a full month worth of compensation outside of the one-time monthly fee for the first 30 days. Some quick calculations and she ended up by this logic having the right to about 27 months worth of compensation, equaling about €950 worth. Of course, this was another day when my regular boss was absent, and I had to go find another one to handle it. I ended up finding the same person as the last time. I tried to paraphrase the conversation, but it, even after getting through half of it, ended up extending the post a lot. So here's the short version. I tell the boss about the situation, that she's asking for compensation and why she's saying she has the right to this. Boss basically tells me, we can't do anything. I actually argue for her cause. We have in fact not delivered her internet for 14 months after telling her it's moved to the new address, and on multiple occasions told her it's all fine. At this point, boss gives in and informs me we can pay out the difference in price for the speed she's been using. Delivered, not by us, compared to full speed. Considering boss is being quite rude and snappy about it towards me, who's just trying to resolve a problem someone else caused, I give in and go to inform the customer about this offer, knowing well where this is heading. This was not a good idea. She refused it but realized she in fact was correct about the policy and her right to compensation as per the contract. She demanded to speak with someone in charge, and after I had argued for a while longer with my boss, he told me, let customer support handle it. Just inform them as best you can about the story. This is their job since it's a larger compensation. Tech support mostly only handled €50 or below compensation at this time, but since we didn't deliver the service, technically it was ours to handle since customer service can only see the logs and not the activation, thus not make a good judgment if they're entitled to compensation. So I call customer support, explain the situation, and transfer the call. I could of course have downplayed the bit about not having access to her services since they were used by someone else, but boss was being rude to me and she was nice, so I made sure this point came through loud and clear. Apparently the customer support representative went with hers and my view of things and paid out €950 compensation. Free internet for 2 years, yay for her. Doesn't take very long before I'm approached by boss's boss asking me why I got customer services to pay out €950 compensation. I simply told them the story and what boss had asked me to do after I had been asking them how to handle it. I then saw boss's boss go find boss. Suffice to say, it didn't look like a very pleasant conversation for boss, but I never got any fallout from it after that other than boss never again taking my inquiries lightly after this. Win-win in my eyes. I got a better working environment as I often had to talk to this person, seeing that my own boss was frequently MIA and customer got free internet for almost 2 years. In retrospect, I can't help to wonder if it wasn't something of a scam since she was using her friend's internet, and her friend hers. Even so, I laugh at those €950 worth of free internet every time I reminisce about the story. The policy she used against the company is intended to be used in case of things like damaged lines and equipment failure. Needless to say, the policy wording was changed after this, and a paragraph about customer responsibility for controlling that the services is properly activated and reporting this ASAP added. Oh okay, I'll move the truck, mom. I am a 22 female. I live with my parents, but I'm moving out in a couple weeks, so my mother and I have been bumping heads a lot. The biggest thing we fight about is my clothes and my sleep. Recently, it's been more about my sleep than anything else. I go into work at 2 p.m. every day at my full-time job, so I'm there relatively late. When I get home, I like to decompress, play video games, watch TV, work out, and make something light to eat. I don't always do all of these things in the same day, but what I'm getting at is I stay up late. I get off around 11, home by 11:15, and I won't go to sleep until around 3 to 4 morning, the latest being for if I'm with my boyfriend. She wakes me up every day from between 6 a.m. and 9 a.m. But it's never just once, she'll do it 2 to 4 times in the morning until I can't go back to sleep, and I'm PO'd. She doesn't even wake me up for important shit. It's either to beach at me or make me do something for her. I've asked her time and time again to stop waking me up. I have a hard time going back to sleep. Could you please just let me sleep until 11 a.m. and when I'm up I'll do what you need me to do? But she never listens. Well, currently, she's been having work done on her house. The workers are in their final stages, so they're just painting the house. Well, once again she woke me up at 7:30 a.m. today by barging into my room to move her truck, because the workers are here. I groan, get up, and throw on a nightgown she doesn't like. We've had several fights about this nightgown because it's short, even though it's long enough to cover everything it needs to. I looked at myself in the mirror and thought about changing, but instead I smirked and thought to myself, if you can't respect my boundaries, why am I going to respect yours? I keep the nightgown on. I walk out of my room, move the truck, and go back inside. As soon as she sees me while I'm walking back to my room, she starts screaming, "Cat Wing Uterus, you're basically naked. Why do you hate me?" She's standing in front of me trying to block my way from going to my room. I duck underneath her arms and ignore her. My mother starts following me while yelling about me living with her and my father, so I can't be dressing like Floor around their house, especially when my father and working men are around. I get into my room, close the door, and take off the nightgown so I'm butt-ass naked about to lay back down, and she swings my door open, still trying to argue with me. I can't believe you would embarrass me like that. Put on some ducking clothes. We're talking. I laugh in her face and close the door on her. She attempts to reopen the door, so I grab the handle. I'm not allowed locks on my door. Dude, no, I'm naked. We're not even talking. You're just yelling. The truck is moved. Please, leave me alone. She starts sobbing about how everyone is so mean to her. She hates her life and stomps off to call my dad to complain about me. ETA 1. Please stop telling me to move out and pay my own bills. That's literally the whole plan, and next few weeks I file could actually read the freaking post. 2. Well, you can't hate it that bad if you live there still, since you've been over the age of 18 for 4 years. Oh my god. I moved out when I was 19. My ex-boyfriend was beating the shit out of me. The abusive relationship I was in ducked up a lot of things, including my finances. I was 20, about to turn 21, lost and ducking confused. My parents let me move back in. I've been saving for a car of my own, which my abusive ex ruined, to get my credit up so I can get a car loan, and to save up money so I can put a down payment on a car, and also all the extra fees apartments charge when you get approved to move in. I haven't just been sitting on my ass living with my parents. I've been getting my shit together, and it's taken time because I ducked up. I ruined my life because of a bad relationship I was in. 3. You're obviously not grateful for your mother. I love my mom to death, but she can be toxic and abusive and manipulative. I didn't leave one toxic relationship just to hop back into another one. I deserve respect and privacy, the very minimum. I love my mom, but I'm allowed to vent. None of you know anything about me. Shabbily dressed guy actually does work in the building, dude. So years ago I got a pretty sweet gig working as security guard. Shift supervisor actually, important. A building downtown. It was a mixed-use building. Store had a food court, retail stores onto levels, as well as 5 office towers. When I first started, one of the things all the guards are taught is to treat everybody they deal with respectfully. The building did have a lot of transients and homeless people wander through, but we prided ourselves on being courteous and polite to everyone. Well, one lazy Sunday morning, I get a frantic call from our building operator, guy who watches all the security cameras, telling me I needs to get to a specific bank of chairs on the 2nd floor. A's panicking, and I can't make out much of what A's saying other than one of my guards' names. I go rushing over, worried that this guard, who's a bit of a loudmouth bully, might be in a fight or something. Oh boy, do I wish that was the case. When I get there, the guard is berating an older gentleman who is seated in one of the chairs. Guy has a pile of papers and a coffee on the table in front of him and is pretty shabbily dressed. A pair of threadbare jeans, dirty running shoes, a faded and stretched out shirt, and a leather jacket that is more scuffs than leather at this point. There's a ratty laptop bag on the floor leaning against the table. The guard is darn near purple in the face, screaming at this guy to GTF out, pointing wildly and yelling obscenities about how we don't allow pieces of garbage to live here. You've been here an hour. Move along. I walk up, tell guard to cool his heels. Hey guard, let's all just take a breath. What's going on here? And then I greet gentleman in the chair and ask what seems to be the problem. The second gentleman gets to words out, guard lights up on a tangent about how this homeless drug addict is loitering and needs to leave but won't get up. I shush him and try talking to gentleman again, and this time he got out for words before the guard interrupts again, and this time starts threatening to literally flip the chair forward to toss gentleman onto the floor. I finally have enough with the guard and tell him to go to the office and cool off, and that I will deal with gentleman. Guard begrudgingly leaves, and I apologize to gentleman about the guard's overreaction. Gentleman basically says I appreciate it. I work in X tower on X floor and forgot my keys. I was waiting until my assistant arrives and can let me in. I automatically offer to let gentleman into his office. We do it all the time and have specific protocols for it. And he accepts. So away we go to the elevator. We reach his floor and then doors open, which is when I realize where I am. Every single night, we patrol every single office space of every single tower. Except for one. On one floor, the entire space is occupied by a legal firm. That is worth multi-millions. And we aren't allowed in the office, ever. Yup, I'm standing on that floor. Gentleman steps into the floor lobby and I have to excuse myself and go and get the key for his office. We aren't allowed to carry a copy of it. So I can let him in, and he just nods. I race down to the building operations room, snag the key and race back as fast as I can. When I get back to the floor, I open the office door and gentleman invites me in as he goes to shut off the alarm. I then have to awkwardly ask him for his ID and to see his office so I can verify he's allowed to be there. He chuckles and obliges me. A's the freaking owner of the legal firm. Thanks me for letting him in and I leave. About 20 minutes later, the president of our security company arrives on site with 2 other people, and guard who blew a gasket is escorted off site. Fired. As soon as I left lawyer, he called the manager of the building at home to have words and manager then called security company, who came down personally. I got a nice compliment for how I handled things and I learned why we had the rule of treating everybody with respect. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share and we will see you in the next video.